afternoon. Thank you for calling. May I help you?
Hi, my mother is in there. Her name's...
Yes.
I wondered about seeing her today or tomorrow, face to face.
Okay, like doing like a Zoom or a Skype or
Nope.
something like that? Is that what you're looking for?
No, she can't do that.
Okay. Let me see if I can, she's over, correct?
I think it's... Yeah,
Yes. Okay, hold on one moment, okay?
sure.
Thank you.
Time and energy. And while you are willing to give much of both, everyone needs a break at some point. That's where our respite services come in. For up to 30 days, you can take some time off while your loved one lives it up at our campus, indulging in chef-prepared meals, taking trips into town, and making new friends.
Yeah, right.
Caregivers shouldn't feel guilty about taking some time for themselves, and their loved ones shouldn't feel nervous if they do. Respite should be something that you both look forward to.
I'm going to put you through to our executive director. She will be with you in just a minute. She's going to be finishing up on another call, okay?
Sure.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Days like these aren't meant to be spent cooped up inside. They're meant to be spent in the shade next to a glass of iced tea, on the banks of your favorite fishing spot, in the park with friends, or in your favorite chair, watching the flowers nod in the breeze. At the we spend our days in the pursuit of one goal, creating wonderful experiences for our residents. This means tending to every detail, from grilling up expertly seared burgers to finding a live band that knows all the oldies by heart. We believe that perfect days should be something that both the young and the young at heart can enjoy. So we encourage our residents to share their dreams with us, and we do our best to make them come true. Ask us how you can get in on the fun at our next community event when we return to the line.
Thank you for holding. This is, how can I help you?
Hi, my mother's in there, and I'd like to see her.
Okay, who is your mother? Okay, is this...
Yes.
Okay, so this is the executive director. So unfortunately, the only way you would be able to visit her is through a window visit, or to set up and do a Zoom or a Skype, kind of like a FaceTime on an iPad with her. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to have any visitors in our campus.
Is she under arrest?
No, it's so with government has put out several months ago, about a month ago now, that we've been doing this, where we are not permitted to have any outside visitors at our campus at all. We're not permitted to have any family members inside, unless it was a situation where the resident is actively dying.
Why?
That's the only way.
But why is that?
Because of the coronavirus and the COVID-19 that we've been going through, and it's not just across, actually that order is across the whole United States, where we're not, all nursing homes, long-term care providers are not allowed to have visitors in at this time until we've been released and allowed to have them.
My understanding of this event is that it's no worse than the seasonal flu.
Right, and I understand that, but unfortunately, we have to report to our governing agencies, so the CDC, Centers of Medicare, what orders have been put in place from the governor and Amy Acton. We have to abide by what they're saying. Unfortunately, at this...
Is it
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to ask a few questions. Is it constitutional?
I have to go by and follow our rules and regulations, and that is what has been put in place. I understand it's very difficult, but we have to abide by those regulations.
What if they're not ethical?
I understand, again, but at this time we have to abide by the regulations that have been put in place.
I don't understand why my mother has to suffer. She cannot communicate very well, in person is the way that she is happy to communicate. She needs her family for her health.
And I understand. We have many residents in that same situation, and
Do any of them have COVID-19 or coronavirus or the flu?
No, we do not have any positive cases, and the reason why we are not permitting visitors into the campus is to mitigate that exposure to our residents.
If we weigh that pain and suffering against getting the flu, does it make sense to you?
I understand. I understand, but again, we have to abide by our regulations that have been set forth with us. And these aren't just, it's from the governor, from the president. They have put all of these information for all nursing homes and assisted livings across the whole United States. So it's not just just us here. It is everywhere, unfortunately.
Well, that doesn't matter to me if it's not right. My mother is still suffering. I'm just very...
The staff are still doing, they're doing their normal routine with them, kind of functioning. But unfortunately, at this time, we still cannot permit visitors.
I don't... If the staff can see her, how is it different from me seeing her? I'm not sick.
And staff are essential workers that have to be here to provide care to the residents.
Well, what if you thought of that care, part of it, as being family, being essential?
Right, and I understand.
Did the governor...
We can only go by what they are telling us, our agencies.
Did the governor and these agencies, whoever they are and whatever they are up to, did they ever say that family is not essential?
They have said, according to a letter that the governor and Amy Acton have put out, as well as the CDC, they have specifically put in there the only way families are permitted to visit is if someone is actively dying. And a medical director determines that they are actively dying. That is the only way family will be permitted into the campus.
Is that ethical?
Yeah, I can't say whether that's ethical or not. It's a very difficult situation that we're all working through right now as we all fight through this epidemic. But
I understand that it's difficult. I think it's difficult because of what they are saying, and it's not difficult because there's any danger from the flu. I'm very, very upset about this, and if it's my opinion, you should think about challenging it, because the residents, my mother, it's not in her best interest. Whatever the governor is up to, it is unethical and it's very evil, in my opinion.
Well, it's not just the governor, it's the whole United States that is not permitting visitors into the nursing homes.
But that doesn't matter to me. That's bandwagon thinking.
Well, unfortunately, we have to abide by our rules and regulations set by these individuals, and we have to abide by those. The ramifications, if we don't abide by those, then if Ohio Department of Health would hear that, we would be penalized. We would receive, citations from them for not following their rules and regulations.
So it's just threat of punishment.
No, it is in accordance with the governor and Amy Acton and the president that we are not permitted to have visitors in our facilities. Period. I can't change that rule. Unfortunately, that's what we have to abide by.
Well, it's my opinion that they don't have your best interests at heart. They don't have my mother's best interests at heart. They don't have my best interests at heart. And I don't know why any of us are listening to these crazy rules. We should challenge them, in my opinion.
I understand that you disagree with that, but again, at the end of the day, I do have to stand firm and say I cannot permit any visitors in, and that's what we have to abide by at this time. When that changes, if anything were to change and that is lifted, we will call and notify you right away. But until that time...
I don't understand why it's there in the first place, so I don't understand why it would ever change. We're always going to have the seasonal flu, so they could do this forever, or they could do it over and over again.
They're more worried about the COVID-19. If any of our residents, they are a high risk of getting that. There's a high death rate with the elderly. When it gets into a campus, it spreads like wildfire, and so we are doing our best interest to protect not only your mom, but all of our residents here. And I'm sorry that you disagree with that, but we have to abide by that to keep our residents safe.
Well, the numbers, even if all the numbers reported were definitely true, that it's all definitely the COVID-19. COVID-19 is a classification of symptoms that are common symptoms with the seasonal flu.
Okay. I don't think you're going to get the answer that you want from me. I'm not sure how else, that I can help you understand this better other than we have to abide by what the rules and regulations are at this time. At this time, we can't have, or we're not permitted to have visitors or family members. I know you disagree with it, and I am truly sorry that this is kind of the situation we're going through. And whether we agree or disagree with what has been put in place from the CDC and the government, we have to abide by what they're saying.
Well, my mother is the one who really has to abide by it, and she doesn't have a say. So I'm speaking for her and saying that this is bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit, and it's wrong.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.